Everyone thinks living on board in Europe means rich people, massive yachts, and sailing skills you definitely don't have. Yeah? Absolutely not. In this video, we're going to show you how you can live aboard a boat for around $50,000 with camping level costs, no tides, no waves, and skills you can learn before your coffee gets cold. It's slow, it's ridiculously beautiful, it involves wine at lunchtime, and it absolutely destroys any excuse keeping people stuck on land. Stick around, this amazing lifestyle shouldn't be this cheap and easy. So kick off your shoes and come barefoot with us. So let's start with something that gets said to us all the time. I can't afford it. I'll never be able to go cruising. And even if I could, I don't have the skills. Sounds familiar, right?
In the previous episode, we got a lot of excitement when we talked about getting a catamaran for only $160,000. For some people, that is achievable, but for a lot of others, that number shuts their dream down instantly. So today, we want to flip the table completely.
What if we told you that you could buy a fully equipped, comfortable liveaboard boat for around $50,000?
Run it for camping level costs, spend 1/3 to 1/4 of what it costs to sail seagoing vessels, and do it easily with minimal skills, no tides, no waves, and no sleepless nights dragging anchor. Does this sound interesting?
Do we have your attention? Because if that sounds interesting, or even slightly tempting, then congratulations. You may have just found the most underrated cruising lifestyle on the planet.
And yes, you've already seen the title. We are talking about canal boat cruising. So how does it work? Living long-term on the canals and rivers in Europe is shockingly achievable.
And delicious.
It is. Not just for salty old sailors, not just for retired millionaires, but normal people who are willing to learn a few simple skills and slow down a bit.
And when we say slow down, we mean that in the best possible way. This means relaxing. Canal cruising is relaxed. It's immersive and it's deeply connected to the land, the villages, the food and the people. And somehow hardly anyone talks about it.
So what's the lifestyle like? So picture this. You're cruising through vineyards. Medieval fortified villages appear around the bend. You tie up right in the middle of town. You step off the boat, walk 200 meters and buy fresh bread from a boulangerie, local cheese and a bottle of wine that somehow costs less than bottled water back home.
Now we might be being animated, but this really does happen. That's what's so funny. It's all that and more. It's extraordinary. And then it's just a downhill roll back to the boat after you've had wine tasting. And half the time, we didn't even plan it. We just rolled into town, docked, and somehow we're in the middle of a festival. And this happened village after village after village in summer.
Yeah, music, dancing, food, stalls, wine tasting.
And that was just him.
Clearly nobody got the memo that we were supposed to keep moving. And obviously we didn't. We stayed put.
Every region is obsessed with something edible. Dijon takes mustard very personally. And the truffle region smells suspiciously expensive, but they're not.
Look, there are snails, mussels, cherries, fruit, endless cheese factories, and local delicacies like tapenade, crepes, and Carcassonne's cassoulet.
And that's like a local casserole that you just have to taste. And then, because this is France, the canals close down between 12 and 2 for lunch.
Nothing interferes with a Frenchman's mealtime.
And admittedly, at first, this was quite annoying for us because we were used to go, and then just stop for a little while for lunch. But very quickly, it became one of our favourite parts of the day. And we say bon appetit, which makes perfect sense.
Shade, bread, cheese, wine, zero guilt.
And zero stress. Honestly, civilization peaked here. And so what about the people, the canal community?
Oh, look, like all sailing communities, they are phenomenally friendly, helpful. They will give you advice. And in fact, it's very important, I think, to talk to people as you're passing on the canals because they will share information with you constantly. Where to moor, where the services are, what towns are worth staying in, and what towns you probably should avoid.
And what are the best things to see?
So say hello, ask questions. You'll very quickly find yourself surrounded by people who've been doing this for decades and love helping newcomers.
You'll also meet the lock keepers that are called ecclesiaires. Most are fantastic and some are character building, to say the least.
But if you help them with the manual locks and show a bit of goodwill, you'll be amazed how quickly your reputation travels down the canal ahead of you. Because yes, absolutely, the ecclesiaires do talk to each other and tell the next lock what boats are coming and probably give you either a good rap or a bad rap.
Yeah.
And the next thing is the range. If you've got a canal boat, how far can you go? This is where Europe really shines.
How far can you get on a canal boat? Tell them.
So the canals, rivers and waterways extend all the way from the English Channel down to the Mediterranean and then up across the middle of Europe through Germany, Austria, Hungary and all the way to Istanbul. It is just amazing. If you want to travel all that way over the years, then you can, because they're all interconnected, because in the past it used to be their transport system.
We've done a fair bit of this through different countries through many years, and it's just phenomenal. You can go from one country to the next and it's easy.
So you can choose exactly where you want to go and how far you want to travel. You can go short distances, you can go long distances. You can do it for a few months or you can do it for all season. And also one of the beautiful things about canals, you can actually live on them 12 months a year. Those boats do need heating because it does get cold in the wintertime. This is a long-term lifestyle choice you can make. And remember, you're not just traveling, you're actually living inside of these countries. You will get to know exactly how the people work and the culture, and you will become immersed in those environments.
You feel like a local. You're often treated like a local because you're based there for a period of time and you get to know people. You get to know the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, and it's awesome.
Let's talk about slowing down. The speed limit in the canals is 6 knots. In the big rivers you can go faster, but most of the areas it's a 6 knot limit where you have to not have any wake behind your boat because the wake causes erosion of the canal walls. So
no wake, no rushing. And some days you go through dozens of locks and feel so exhausted at the end of the day, only to realize that we've just traveled only 10 kilometers in the whole day. So towns from here to here, we go like this.
Up and down. This is slow, intentional and deeply enjoyable travel.
But you see all sorts of interesting things on the way.
And the only time you move quickly is when you're going downstream in the big rivers like the Rhone or the Rhine, and there you can do 10 knots because the current might be 3 or 4, which is great because you hammer downstream, but the problem is if you want to go upstream, it's proportionately slower.
Now, the big question. What is the cost of a boat? Over to you.
So the hard numbers, liveaboard canal boats range from about $20,000 to a few $100,000. But a good, solid, comfortable boat with all the things that we wanted, which was a proper toilet, shower, generator, galley, enough sleeping for at least 4 or 6 people, as well as heating on board.
Definitely a nice deck that you could pop the umbrella and just cruise around or sit there and have your lunch for 2 hours.
Good shade for both rain and sun. Those come in easily at $50,000.
Because we just sold ours that we cruised on for 7 years, just only a couple of years ago for around that price. And it was in really good shape.
Yeah, it was. And in the next episode, we'll walk through exactly what money actually buys, what to look for, and how surprisingly nice these boats actually are.
And you know what they say about the journey and the destination? Well, the journey was as equally as exciting. You'd go into each different boat at your price range that you wanted, and they all offered something different and unique. So you had to weigh up, do we want this or do we want that? I loved it.
Let's get on to the cost of living while you're sailing the European canals. And this is what people really find hard to believe. Much of the time the mooring is free. Town quays, canal banks, designated moorings, often completely free and sometimes even with power. More commonly, you have to pay for power, mind you, but we spent a full night in Paris, legally moored under the Eiffel Tower, completely for free. Quite amazing.
It was wonderful.
If you do go into a marina on the canals, which in France are called haltes fluviales, the fee is usually between 20 and 40 euros. And then sometimes that includes power and sometimes it's not, but power's not usually very expensive at all. Now, of course, this compares to a seagoing marina that's going to charge you around 200 to 300 euros per night. So it's completely incomparable. So what about annual license fees? 12 months is around 250 euros for the year, and that's it. If you keep your boat in a marina or pay for a marina for all year, it only costs you 1,500 to 3,000 euros. That is about 1 month's stay in a seagoing marina. Just amazing stuff. So this is cheaper than paying your rent, guys.
And fuel costs, it's less than running your car. Amazingly, canal boats only need to be anti-fouled about once every 5 years, which also saves a heap of money.
And just to prove the point, we had our boat for 7 years and we only had to anti-foul it once during that time. So it's just so much easier than the seagoing boats. And of course, food costs, well, it depends what you eat and what you buy, but it's no more expensive.
Everything.
But it's no more expensive than living in a house or living in a caravan. So honey, what skills do people need?
Well, let's destroy the biggest myth out there. You need very little skills to be able to drive on the canals. So there's no tides, no waves, very little navigating, no anchoring, and no night passages. How does that sound, guys?
So you usually tie up to solid walls and bollards every night. No dragging, no rolling, and no drama. You can actually tie up anywhere, just hammer in a few tent pegs and tie your rope to the tent pegs. And that's it. So
it's too funny.
It's so easy, guys, and you have so much flexibility. You can be out in the middle of nowhere or you can be right in the middle of town, whatever you want.
So the main skills you'll need is handling the lock lines when you come into a lock and basic maneuvering of the boat.
And so that's when you come into ports or marinas, you have to either more side on or stern to. So you just have to know how to reverse and park your boat. Those are the only two skills you really need to know because everything else is plain sailing.
Depending on the boat you have, you don't have to be as careful on some as you do on others because they have big bumpers all the way around. So it's like Dodgem cars that go bing, 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 bing all the way through the lock.
If you charter a boat in the canals, you need to have absolutely no experience, no certification, and no previous experience. They give you a half an hour briefing, show you how the boat works, and off you go all by yourself. So it is very safe and very easy. And by the time the people come back after their 1 week of cruising, they know all the skills they need to have. The first few days, a little bit dodgy. We tend to avoid those people during those times. You can see them coming in like this. Whoa, let them go first. You go, oh, after you. So
we have seen a few accidents on canals, though. Everyone sits up on the top deck. They pop their umbrella because it gives you this beautiful shade. And then often they forget it's there and they're cruising off and they get to a bridge and forget to take it down. We yell out, parasail, parasail.
Anyway, really easy, minimal skills, and you learn those skills really within the first day. Now, if you own your own boat, there are a couple of licenses or certifications you need. One is an online course, another is some sort of certificate of competence, and we'll talk about these in future episodes. But it's very simple, a couple of hours on the online course, and a half-day RYA certification of certificate of competence. So very simple, easy stuff to do. But having said that, in the 7 years we cruised the canals, never once were we asked for either of those bits of paper. Just amazing. So, cruising the canals, the most amazing thing is the food.
Is that wrong? Is that really wrong of us? But it was just awesome. Fresh produce, local cheeses, seasonal, everything. And everything was farm fresh. And yes, France absolutely lives up to the reputation of cheap wines, incredible bread, and ridiculous pastries.
And we would go into a patisserie.
Oh, don't tell them. You don't have to share that.
And we would go into a patisserie and Elizabeth said, oh, let's have one of those and one of those. And we come out with 6. I'm saying, honey, how are we going to eat all these?
I was just like a child in a candy shop. It was like eyes were this big and they were just works of art and so delicious.
They're just amazing. Then eventually I think she did learn that the patisseries will be there tomorrow too.
Yeah, at the next village. So I didn't have to store up.
And of course, gelato or dangerously good ice cream. We regret nothing. Okay, guys, so we have cruised from the English Canal from Calais through to Paris, down to the Mediterranean. Then we have done circles within France, the Burgundy area, up to Paris area, then down the Loire, back up to the central to Auxerre through the Canal de Nivernais, and also down to Marseille, down to the Camargue, then over into the Canal de Midi, and then up towards Bordeaux, and it's been absolutely wonderful. Before we bought our boat, we did charter a canal boat just to make sure we were happy with the process, and this is something we would recommend for everybody, because you also get your skills up before you get your own boat. So damage the charter boat, not your own boat, guys. We'll also do another video about chartering canal boats in Europe as well.
So we hope you're going to enjoy this series that we're creating for you about everything you need to know about canal cruising.
So if this lifestyle even slightly appeals to you, or you're just curious about how to do it, stick around, because everything will be revealed in the next few episodes.
So as always, thank you to our wonderful Patreons that help support our charity Tough Minds, that are helping people and saving lives from suicide every single day.
So subscribe, like and comment.
Share it with those friends, especially the ones that say, one day when I can afford it, because truthfully, they probably already can. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye from us.
All the best, guys.
Or even slightly attempting. Or even slightly tempting.
You're cruising through vineyards, medieval fortified... You put me off.
Sorry, I'm just imagining being back there.
So I'll keep on going and you go,
I will. And as always, thanks to our amazing And as always...